News from Oak Island spread like wildfire across the internet. People everywhere were stunned to hear that Rick Lagina had finally done what many thought was impossible. After years of digging, after decades of mystery, he had sold the treasure. The same treasure that had drawn explorers, historians, and dreamers to that tiny island for generations. The story sounded unbelievable, yet it came from sources too strong to ignore. Rick had made a multi-million-dollar deal, and the world wanted to know why. Those who followed Oak Island from the beginning knew how much Rick had sacrificed. He had given his time, money, and heart to the hunt. For him, the treasure was never just about gold, it was about truth. So when the news broke that he had sold everything, people were shocked. Some said it was greed, others said it was destiny. But behind the headlines, something much deeper was unfolding. Insiders revealed that Rick didn't just sell the find, he also paid his crew millions of dollars each. Every main member of the Oak Island team, Marty Lagina, Charles Barkhouse, Scott Barlow, Emma Culligan, and others, received more money than they had ever imagined. It sounded like a happy ending, yet the air around Oak Island grew heavier by the hour. Why would Rick sell the treasure so quickly? Why would he keep the deal so secret? People began asking hard questions. Was this really a treasure, or was it something else entirely? Rumors spread that the chest Rick found was not made of gold, but of an unknown metal. Some whispered that the box held an ancient artifact connected to the Knights Templar. Others claimed that it contained a secret so powerful that the government itself had stepped in. Reporters flooded Oak Island, but Rick was nowhere to be found. Cameras rolled day and night near the garden shaft where the discovery had been made. Marty was cornered by journalists, but all he said was, "Everything happens for a reason." That single sentence sent shockwaves through the internet. Fans flooded Reddit and YouTube, analyzing every old clip of the show, every word Rick had ever said.
In one of those recordings, Rick's voice echoed, "We found something beyond gold." That one line changed everything. People began to believe that what they had found beneath Oak Island wasn't treasure at all. It was something older, something sacred. Threads on Reddit connected it to the Templars, the Vatican, even secret organizations that protected ancient knowledge. The more people speculated, the more the mystery grew. Then, new details leaked. The night before the deal was made, strange activity was seen on the island. Machines stopped. The crew left for the evening, but lights stayed on in the garden shaft. Around midnight, a small group of unknown people arrived. A heavy crate was loaded onto a truck under tight security. No cameras were allowed, and no records of the vehicle were ever found. When the crew returned in the morning, the treasure was gone. Marty told everyone, "The excavation is halted. No reason, no explanation, only silence." Insiders later said the deal was worth somewhere between $40 and $70 million. Some claimed the buyer was a billionaire collector who specialized in rare artifacts, objects that never see the light of day again. Others insisted the deal was made under pressure, maybe even by government order. Among the crew, emotions ran high. Emma Culligan, the scientist who first spotted the chest on sonar, couldn't believe it was gone. Charles Barkhouse was furious. "This was part of our history," he said. "Selling it is a betrayal." The atmosphere grew so heavy that filming stopped. No one cheered, no one celebrated. The treasure hunt that had united them for years now felt like a wound that would never heal. Even though everyone received money, not everyone was happy. Emma admitted quietly, "We found the money, but did we really find what we were looking for?" Charles said, "No payment can justify selling history." For the first time, the Oak Island team stood divided, not because of the treasure, but because of what it meant. A few days later, strange things began happening on the island. Security tightened. Guards appeared. Large black SUVs drove in and out, some marked with government seals. Equipment never seen before was set up. Radiation detectors, scanners, sealed crates. Crew members were told to stay away from the garden shaft. Rick, met privately with the visitors, but no one else was allowed near. Marty protested, but was warned to stay out of it or risk losing the entire project. Oak Island was no longer under their control. It had become something else, something hidden behind locked gates and official orders. Historians who were brought in took photographs of the strange symbols engraved on the box. Some whispered that the markings were connected to ancient civilizations or secret orders. Theories exploded online. Was this a relic of the Templars? Was it an ancient power source? Why would the government care so much if it was just gold? Rick stayed silent. He stopped giving interviews and disappeared from public view. For weeks, fans wondered where he had gone. Some said he was hiding. Others believed he was working with the authorities. But when Rick finally appeared again, his face told its own story. He looked tired and pale, as if he hadn't slept in days. In a quiet video message, he said only a few words. What we found, it was probably not for the world yet. Those words stopped everyone cold. They sounded like both a warning and a confession. Rick didn't explain further. He just said that sometimes finding the truth is the greatest risk. That sentence became legendary overnight. People analyzed his tone, his body language, the background behind him. Some thought he was scared. Others thought he was relieved. A few even claimed to see strange symbols behind him, the same symbols found on the chest. Whether true or not, the mystery deepened. Within the crew, a rift opened wide. Charles Barkhouse accused Rick of betraying their purpose. "We were here to reveal the truth," he said angrily, "not to bury it." Emma defended Rick. "Maybe the world isn't ready for what we found," she argued. Their argument grew so heated that Marty had to step in to separate them, to step between them. From that day, the Oak Island team was never the same. They had once been united by curiosity and hope. Now, they were divided by secrets. Scott Barlow said later, "We were all one team, but now it feels like a wall has been built between us." Rick's silence only made things worse. He carried the weight of what he had done like a shadow. Some nights, people said they saw him standing alone near the shore, staring out at the ocean, lost in thought. Maybe he was wondering if he had made the right choice. Maybe he knew something no one else did. Whatever the reason, the man who had spent his life chasing truth now seemed to be running from it. Days passed, then weeks, yet the silence from Rick Lagina remained. The Oak Island site, once full of excitement and movement, now felt frozen in time. The machines were still. The sound of drills and excavators that had once echoed across the island had stopped completely. Even the seagulls seemed quieter, as if nature itself sensed something unusual had happened there. The crew members tried to carry on with small tasks, but everyone knew it wasn't the same. The discovery had changed everything. What once united them was now dividing them. Every conversation eventually led back to the same questions. What exactly did Rick find? Why did he sell it? And what could be so dangerous that it needed to be hidden from the world? Rumors began to spread beyond Oak Island. Reporters claimed that late at night, private jets were seen leaving Halifax Airport. Some said one of those planes carried a sealed metal crate, the same crate that had been lifted from the garden shaft. Nobody knew where it went. Some believed it was flown to Switzerland. Others said Dubai, and some whispered it had been taken to an underground vault owned by a secretive billionaire. That theory quickly caught fire. According to insiders, the buyer wasn't just any collector, but one of the world's most powerful men, someone with enough money and influence to keep anything hidden forever. His name never appeared in public records. Those who tried to investigate said that each clue led to a dead end. Still, everyone agreed on one thing. Whatever was in that box was worth far more than gold. When reporters finally managed to ask Rick about the rumors, his answer was short. "Some treasures find their own owners," he said. He didn't confirm or deny anything. That one sentence was enough to start another storm online. Was Rick protecting the artifact, or had he betrayed the very history he'd sworn to uncover? Historians, archaeologists, and treasure hunters began giving interviews. Some called Rick a hero who prevented a dangerous secret from falling into the wrong hands. Others called him a coward who sold history to the highest bidder. One British archaeologist said, if that artifact truly belonged to the Templar Order, then what Rick did is unforgivable. He has taken a piece of world heritage and hidden it from humanity. But another historian disagreed. "We don't know what was in that box," he said. "If it held something powerful or harmful, Rick may have saved us all." The world suddenly found itself divided, half defending Rick, half demanding answers. Meanwhile, inside the Oak Island camp, tension was rising. Emma Culligan tried to calm everyone, saying Rick had made the only choice he could. Charles Barkhouse refused to accept that. He argued that if they hid the truth, then all the years of digging, research, and sacrifice meant nothing. Their debates often ended in silence, each walking away from the other, both convinced they were right. Scott Barlow noticed how the mood changed each day. "We used to start every morning with hope," he said later. "Now we start with questions." Even Marty Lagina, who had always stood by his brother, seemed distant. He said little to the crew, spending most of his time reviewing old documents and site maps, as if searching for a way to make sense of it all. Then came a shocking twist. An anonymous post appeared online, a leaked document claiming that the chest Rick found wasn't the treasure itself. According to the document, it was only a part of a larger mechanism, a vault key designed to open an underground chamber located 200 feet beneath Oak Island. The so-called leak suggested that the metallic chest was not meant to store gold or jewels, but to unlock something far more significant, a chamber that had remained sealed for centuries. The post described it as a vault of knowledge and power, created by ancient builders and protected by secret orders throughout history.
The leak spread. Social media exploded. People said, "So the real treasure is still there." Reddit threads filled with maps, theories, and old excavation drawings. YouTube channels dissected the details frame by frame. Some claimed the chamber might contain the lost records of the Knights Templar. Others believed it held a forgotten energy source, or even proof of an ancient civilization that predated recorded history. Emma Culligan, when asked about the leak in an interview, said quietly, "If it's true, then Rick only found the first part. The full story hasn't even begun yet." Her words reignited hope among fans. Maybe Oak Island's mystery wasn't over. Maybe it was only sleeping. Charles Barkhouse also spoke to reporters, confirming something Rick had once told him years earlier. Rick always said, "This is not the end, it's just the beginning." I think now we finally understand what he meant. The idea that the box was a key changed everything. People began studying the symbols engraved on its surface again. Some identified crosses inside triangles, circles around stars, and markings that resembled early Templar runes. Experts said those same patterns were found on medieval relics linked to secret religious orders. The possibility that Oak Island had been a hiding place for the Templars suddenly seemed more real than ever. As debates raged, the Canadian government quietly increased security on the island. Fences went up, signs appeared warning unauthorized people to stay away. Officially, they said it was for safety.
Unofficially, everyone knew it was because something deeper lay buried there. Then, something else happened that reignited the fire completely. A journalist released a set of blurred photos claiming to show government agents inspecting strange metal fragments taken from the site. According to him, the fragments didn't match any known alloy. Some scientists speculated it could be an ancient metal formula lost over time. Others, more daringly, suggested it might not even be of earthly origin. That last claim gave birth to another wave of theories, that the artifact wasn't man-made at all, but alien. People began connecting it to ancient astronaut theories, suggesting Oak Island had been used as a landing or burial site thousands of years ago.
Humming could be heard when the drill hit something solid, were replayed again and again as proof. Soon, hashtags filled social media. Each day brought new stories, some wild, some strangely convincing. Rick stayed quiet through it all. He neither denied nor confirmed anything. Some said his silence meant guilt. Others believed it was protection. Marty, when asked if the leak about the vault key was real, simply said, "I can't talk about that." Back on the island, the remaining crew felt uneasy. They were being watched, recorded, and restricted. Emma said, "It's like we're guests on our own site." Charles grew more restless. He told a friend, "If there's a vault down there, I'll dig it myself." But before he could act, heavy rainstorms hit the island, flooding several tunnels and halting all work. Some said it was coincidence. Others whispered it was fate, as if the island itself was warning them to stop. In the weeks that followed, Oak Island changed. The excitement that had once drawn tourists and cameras faded into mystery and fear. The gates were locked, the paths closed. Locals said strange lights could be seen at night, bright flashes near the garden shaft, followed by the sound of engines. But no one dared to go close. For many, the story should have ended there. But Oak Island has never been a place that allows endings. As time went on, Oak Island turned from an open excavation site into a mystery wrapped in silence. People who once worked there now kept their distance. The locals who used to visit the island said it no longer felt the same. The air carried a strange heaviness, as if it held secrets too deep to breathe. For weeks, there was no word from Rick Lagina. No new footage, no updates, no interviews. Then, suddenly, a short video appeared online. It showed Rick sitting in front of the camera. His face was pale and his voice low, but his eyes carried a weight that words couldn't describe. He said, "What we found was not what we thought it would be. It was something far greater, and maybe too great for us to handle." He paused for a long moment before adding, "Sometimes finding the truth is more dangerous than living without it." That was all he said, but it was enough to send shockwaves across the world. The internet erupted once again. Fans replayed every frame, every blink, every breath. Some said he looked scared. Others said he looked relieved. Many felt that Rick was hiding something, not because he wanted to, but because he had no choice. Online communities began decoding the video background. People claimed that behind Rick, faint symbols could be seen on the wall, the same symbols that were said to be engraved on the metallic chest. Circles, crosses, and markings shaped like ancient scripts. Whether it was coincidence or not, it became another piece of the puzzle. Historians began debating the true nature of the artifact. Some said it could be a religious relic linked to the Templars, maybe even something connected to the origins of Christianity. Others believed it was an ancient machine, something so advanced that modern science couldn't fully understand it. A few even went further, suggesting that it was a portal key or a map leading to another hidden site. Meanwhile, tensions with